This is the Ms.FitVegan Podcast, episode 563. There are many reasons why I stopped doing interviews with other raw vegans and other health influencers. One of the biggest reasons is because confusion cancels the movement. Confusion about what to eat, how much of it to eat, what supplement you must have or else you're going to fuck it up. Confusion about fruit, about vegetables, about herbs, about percentages and timelines and what the truth is. It's canceling the movement. I don't want to be a part of that anymore. Yeah, the truth is that I love to learn, like you probably do. But the real truth is, and yeah, I do really love to learn, and I do love to do interviews. I love it. I love learning. Like an hour interview feels like 5 minutes to me. But the source told me I can't be a part of the confusion anymore. Oh yeah, and I was going to tell you that the biggest reason why I wanted to do interviews was to grow on social media. And you can probably understand why. Because if I'm going to continue doing this for a living, I need to make money doing this, right? Like, I'm not doing it for the money, but I do have rent, and fruit is not growing on trees, apparently. Fruit does grow on trees, but I got to pay for the fruit. Until I have my own fruit trees, I have bills, just like you, okay? And I have to make money somehow. So if I'm going to spend all my time trying to inspire people to go raw, then I got to make money inspiring people to go raw. And I thought, well, of course you want to increase your following because then I can have more people that I can inspire to go raw that, will hopefully maybe support me as well. Maybe purchasing a book or a course of mine. And if you have, then thank you very, very, very much. I really appreciate that. And you will be blessed and highly favored for blessing me. If you are listening to me and you have never supported me in any way, but you've listened to every episode and you've watched every YouTube of mine and you've never supported me in any way, maybe it's because you can't, and I totally understand that. A great way that you could support me for free, and it would really help me out, is if you shared the show, shared this podcast on your channel, shared my YouTube channel on your channel, or with a friend. Every time you like something that I do, if you can share it with your people or a like-minded friend, it really, really helps me out. So that's a way you can support me for free, because a lot of people do want to support, but they don't have the funds, and I totally get that. So thank you very, very much in advance for that. So this is a short podcast. I just wanted to explain myself because I've gotten a lot of messages from people asking me why I stopped doing interviews. I've gotten a lot of people asking me when I'm going to interview this person, when I'm going to get back to doing lives. They really miss my interviews and lives, and I might do some in the future, but I'm not going to do as many as I did just to increase my following, because it is increasing the confusion in the raw vegan movement, and we will never ever be able to grow this movement if I'm confusing people. I personally get so confused with every interview I do. Like, I think the last one was Lauren Lockman, and there are so few people that confuse me. Like, I have to tell you, Ann Osborne, she's the last one. Yeah. I mean, I interviewed Chef Ocean, but it was not confusing at all to me. Ann Osborne was also not confusing at all to me. The last time I got confused was with Lauren Lockman, and I know you guys got confused because a lot of people did reach out to me saying how confused they now were, because Lauren preaches that juice is unhealthy. Now we can't juice, this and that. And it's like, how much more confusion can I promote and put out there? And God told me, I have to stop that. Because, I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe I want to get back to interviews. I miss it. I love it. I do love it. It's something I enjoy. And then God said, no. Confusion cancels the movement. I'm not telling you to stop reading books on raw foods. I'm not telling you to not listen to different sources, to listen to, different channels and new information out there, and to take courses. But understand that confusion also brings profit, and clarity doesn't. Because if you're very, very, very clear on what to do and how to do it, you don't need to buy a book. You don't need to buy a supplement. You don't need to buy a juicer with 10% off. Because you already have a juicer, but this person is promoting this juicer as the best, and it's going to give you the best, like nutrition. But meanwhile, you had a perfectly fine working juicer, but you didn't have the best, and yours was oxidating and like the fucking... And there's nothing wrong with buying recipe books and getting more amazing recipes into your life. I get a lot for free, or else I might buy some of these recipe books. I think the last book I bought just to support him was the Inside Scoop by Raw Natty Nate. Highly recommend this book. I love it. And before that, I bought Chris Kendall's pizza book. Neither of those books have I ever made anything from. Like, I've never made any of the recipes from either book, but I want to support people that I think are doing great things in the world. And I want to, one day when I retire, I might make some of these recipes. But the Nice Cream book, the only reason I haven't made any recipes from that book is because I just have the things that I like. And I'm a creature of habit, and I like it very, very simple as well. And he uses a lot of like maple syrup and stuff in his recipes, and I'm not really into putting maple syrup in my smoothies or my nice cream, but like, I love the book. I think it's a great idea. Use dates instead. And I don't really like the complicated recipes, but there's a really simple one that I do love. It's bananas, blueberries, lemon, but I noticed it tastes way better with all the maple syrup that he adds. So I don't really make that one because it only tastes good when I when I enhance it with a non-raw thing, which is maple syrup. Maple syrup is not raw, and there's nothing wrong with it per se, but it's not part of a staple. Like, it's not a staple in a healthy, raw vegan diet. So I leave that recipe out, and that's pretty much the most simple one, I think. It's been a while since I read the book. Anyway, that's it. That's the podcast. A lot of people are trying to confuse you for profit. And that's great for them. I don't want to be part of that. And that's why somebody like a Lauren Lockman will say juice is not healthy. And then now you're confused. And now you're like, oh shit, I need a fucking call with him. I need to take a course. I need to go fast with him because I don't fucking know what to eat anymore. It must be just water. Like, why do you think he's saying juice is not healthy? He runs a water fasting center. If he ran a juice reset course like fucking Shane Sterling, if he ran a group that promotes juice, you think Shane Sterling, if he came to the realization one day that juice wasn't healthy, you think he's going to say that shit? That's Raw Vegan Rising. You think he's going to ever say that juice is not healthy? He's running a group or whatever he runs, a course or whatever, where you pay to juice. Like, you'd go on a 40-day juice fast. So he's not going to say that. But he might say something else that's very confusing so that you say, like, for example, and you can take this shit to the motherfucking bank, okay? And you could tell all these people I'm talking shit about them. I don't tell them. I'll tell them to their face. I will tell them to their face. Shane Sterling says, the only way to go raw, or the only way to get the mucoid plaque out, or the only way to be healthy is to first do a 40-day juice fast or juice feast. That is some confusing ass shit because it's fucking false. And also, if I was a newbie, I would be like, oh my God, is this the truth? Maybe I have to do this. All right, let me sign up for his course. Let me sign up for this group. It's only $10. Okay. You get what you pay for, boo. It's a $10 group. You get what you no. You get what you pay for. And then there's lots of upsells, I'm sure. And even if it was $1,000 to join the group, that's confusing as fuck. And I don't want to interview him again or anyone else that is confusing people. So I might do interviews, but they're going to be with people that are not confusing the motherfucking movement, the population. Confusion is ruining the raw food movement. So no, I'm not going to interview Kara Brotman. I'm never going to interview her because she's confusing the movement. Talking about sometimes I have a little bit of fruit, but like usually I just eat fat and greens. I eat a lot of greens. No, bitch, you don't eat. You don't eat. I didn't mean to call her a bitch, but that's just how we talk in Brooklyn. Ma'am, you don't eat food. And I know that because you put out an Instagram post talking about after 20 plus years of being raw, you got so hungry that you stopped on the road and you bought a burger of, I'm guessing it was vegan. You bought a plant-based burger and you ate it super fast and you were not happy with yourself because, it wasn't healthy. And it's like, well, if you're going to starve yourself, which you clearly do, then of course you're going to get hungry when you don't have the foods that help you to not eat fruit. You see, if you're trying to be raw and you don't have anorexia and you don't have an eating disorder naturally, okay, that you haven't dealt with, you haven't gone to therapy for, you haven't gone to a specialist to help you, then what's going to happen is you're going to eventually break once in a while, and she probably breaks all the time. But, she's mostly raw because, she has an eating disorder, so she's covering it with the raw food diet. But the issue is that if you don't eat an abundance of fruit and you're trying to be raw, you're going to either form an eating disorder where you barely eat, or you're going to break and you're going to eat cooked food sometimes because it's either you're going to eat cooked food or you're going to eat a lot of fruit. And that's how you're going to be a healthy vegan. Because yeah, you can absolutely eat cooked food and be healthy. I'm not trying to confuse you and tell you that you need to be 100% like me to be healthy. Because that's a motherfucking lie. That's a mother fruity lie. You do not need to be 100% raw. Now, would I make more money? Would I make more money if I told people they did? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Okay. Unfortunately, I cannot operate like that because I'm doing the work that I'm supposed to do on this earth. I'm not doing this for money. I would make a lot more money if I was doing anything else. Okay. I made a lot more money when I worked for other people. Okay. And maybe one day I'll make more money. Maybe. Obviously, that's the goal. But I'm not willing to sell my soul to reach my goal. You can write that in the book, Tessa. That's an original quote. Okay. So I'm not willing to confuse people thinking that I have the only solution. And that's how you make a lot of money. I understand that because, clarity doesn't increase your profits. Confusion brings profits. Okay. Clarity does not. So why do you think so many people are saying sensational things out there? 40 days on juice. You got to do it. Fucking, I got to tell you, I am a fan of Arnold Ehret and Professor Spira. especially because they say in the books, like there's a transition diet. And the thing is that you can be transitioning your whole life and you're going to be healthier than 99% of the population. Where I don't agree with Arnold Ehret and Professor Spira is that like the ultimate is a mucusless diet, because the truth is that is the ultimate for them. But some people are not going to be successful on a mucusless diet, 100% mucusless diet, because they don't enjoy eating that way. And if you don't enjoy eating a certain way, you won't be able to stick to it. You have to find the raw food diet that works for you. Okay? And if you want to support me, you can purchase my new book, Raw Vegan Excuses. It's available on Amazon now. And what happens is I break it down. There's 4 types of people that want to go raw. And you have to find, and I talk about the exact diet you should eat, depending on which type. And if I had the book in front of me, I would read it right now. So just remind me to say this in the next episode. And I actually said it already, because every chapter was actually a podcast or a YouTube video with the word excuses in it. So if you can't afford the book, go to every episode of the podcast that says excuse, raw vegan excuse. And that's basically what's in the book. Okay, yeah. In the book, I have a lot more and I go into more details, and I have a summary as well at the end of every chapter, so it's easier. Oh, I think in the book, I added a lot more to that chapter as well, talking about the types, the 4 types. But either way, the basics are on this podcast. So if you cannot afford the book, then go to that episode where it's, I couldn't even tell you the episode. I promise I'll figure it out and I'll tell you. But just listen to them all. Fuck it. Listen to them all. Raw vegan excuses. Listen to them all. But I need you to know that you're not going to be successful on a mucusless diet unless you enjoy it, unless you enjoy that kind of diet. I mean, 100% raw mucusless diet means you're eating fruit and nuts only. And you're not eating durian, you're not eating coconuts, you're not eating avocado. Those are mucus forming, right? So if you want to be 100% mucus free, then you got to do fruit and greens only. And you can do it, but I don't enjoy it. So like, I don't know anybody on this earth doing it, including Professor Spira. So I don't know what to say about that. And that does give some type of confusion as well, because, but it's a great book, and it's not extremely confusing, because what they're doing is they're providing the transition diet. Okay, so there's bringing some clarity there. Okay, when anybody ever on the internet says only one way works, like this is the way, this is the fucking way, you know they're doing it to confuse you, and they're doing it to make a profit. So just understand that. And I hope that makes sense. And I hope and I pray that I don't come off that way. I try my very, very best, because it is difficult to express my truth and the best way that works for me, but also to provide you with clarity that you do not need to eat like me in order to have amazing health and grow your hair like me and have clear skin like me and lose weight like I did. You don't need to eat the way I eat to get the results that I got. Okay, so I hope that's clear in everything I do, and I will try my very best to be more clear going forward if it's not. Okay, and yeah, that's the podcast for today. Thank you very, very much for listening. I'll see you in the next episode.